Hey, comic book fans, my nerdy friends, and my geeky compadres, what's going on? Welcome to 2016. It's actually January 2nd. Usually I like to do these videos on the 1st because that's when I started my channel. But this is my 3-year anniversary video, and I asked you guys to ask me some questions. A bunch of you answered back, and I got a whole bunch to answer, so let's get it started. Okay, so I started this channel 3 years ago, not anticipating anything, and it's been pretty crazy these 3 years. And in order to celebrate that, I wanted to do a little Q&A thing. So I wrote all your questions down. I'm going to sit here and answer them to the best of my ability, and hopefully you enjoy it. So first off, I got a couple questions from Chris Vint. He asks, whose videos about comics did you watch first? I'm trying to remember. The first couple videos I watched were after I started my channel, because I just hadn't seen anything. I hadn't really been that interested in comic books before I started my channel. I know that's kind of weird, but I just that year I needed a change because some stuff was going on in my personal life, and I needed to get my mind focused on something else. So I have a friend, Andy, who is a huge comic book collector, like nuts. And he invited me over to his shop for some sale they had going on. It was the end of the year sale. And he was like, just pick up a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's all super cheap. So I just started digging into stuff and ended up getting interested in the death of Spider-Man that was happening. So got interested in it, started reading stuff, and decided I wanted to do videos about it. That's how it kind of started. And then after I started it, people were commenting on my videos, and that's when I knew that there was like a whole comic book community on YouTube. So the first couple people that, were interested in my videos are the first ones that I started watching. So 604 Comics was one of the first ones. The Incredible CJ, John DeCosta, and then from there it just kind of snowballed and has gone absolutely out of control. But yeah, that's just a few of the guys that I first started watching. He says, what's been the biggest comic letdown? I know the way you want me to take this as far as like which comic has been the biggest letdown that I've read. I don't want to go that way because I've had a bigger letdown involving comic books, which was this year at Motor City Comic Con. We met Arthur Sudam, and he was just a miserable, terrible person, and that was the biggest letdown. All I wanted was a comic book signed, and he was just like con artist from the get. So that was my biggest comic letdown of the year. As far as reading comics, I usually don't let them let me down. That's kind of weird to say that, but I pick my comics the way I pick them for a reason. So I don't usually get let down at all. Batman Zero Year was a letdown. I only read 3 issues, but that was it. So we'll go with that. I'll give you the answer you want, Batman Zero Year. Will we see more music on the channel? Yes. Sorry, I know that a lot of you don't like it. I can tell by the views and the comments and the thumbs down that I get on those videos that they're not my, your favorite videos, but I do them to make me happy. So, yes, you'll see more music. I did another one like last week or the week before. As far as original music, I'm not sure. I've hit a writer's block as of late, even though I shouldn't have. I have enough material, but it's just not coming together. Anyway, original music, I can't guarantee. Covers, I like to do covers all the time, so that's it. Next is one from Jared Osborne. He asked a couple, but in different mediums. So I think this one's from Twitter. He asks, what was your favorite comic the second year you were collecting comics? My favorite comic the second year I was collecting comics was Daredevil issue 25. This was insane how much I loved this issue. Just amazing all the way through. I was on like the edge of my chair the entire time I was reading this. It was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. I still love it so much that I got it signed by Mark Waid. Just phenomenal issue. JB asks, is there a character or series you've wanted to try out for a while but haven't gotten around to? Which one? There's a few that when I go to Second and Charles, I see like a big run of. One in particular is Cerebus. I missed out on a big haul when I first saw them. They had all the trades. They were thick, but they were like $12 a piece. Usually when I go there and get trades, it's like $5 is my max, $8 sometimes. So $12, I let it sit there until I thought they were going to have a sale. The next time they had a sale, I went back and they were all gone. Now they have a bunch of singles there of Cerebus that I keep thinking about picking up. The problem is Cerebus is a lot like Concrete in the way that they separate the issues. Now, Concrete separates them in like 5-issue story arcs and names the story arc, and that's it. Cerebus is a lot like that, I think, because I keep seeing like Cerebus, and then underneath is the title Guys or High Society or Bi-Weekly, or, you know, there's a whole bunch of secondary titles and then separate issue ones. So I keep thinking about picking those up, but I have to figure out where I need to start at. So I don't know, one of these days, maybe when they do another buy 5, get 5 for free, I'll just pick them all and see what I end up coming up with. But that's the one that's been on my mind recently. Sleepy Reader 666, Damien asks, at this stage, which do you think you enjoy more, trades or singles read monthly? I gotta be honest, it's trades. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts there. I like having the complete story in one book. I am particularly impatient. I hate the wait every month for a single issue. I mean, I still pick them up, but not as much as when I started out. When I started out, my weekly haul videos were ridiculous. I mean, I was hitting 20 books every week, which is just insane. Like, now that I look back on it, it is nuts. Now I pick up maybe 3 or 4 books a week. Most of my weekly hauls, if you've noticed, are back issues and trades. Like, I'll pick up, I think this last week I picked up 3 new issues. This next week, I already looked it up, I got 5 coming out, which is, you know, not what I used to pick up at all. But I'm enjoying trades a lot more. I just am. You know, I like to get a full story as I sit down and read. He also asked, if you were writing a comic and could choose any artist to draw it, who'd you pick? That's a tough one. I mean, I guess it depends on the kind of book I'm writing. If I'm writing a horror book, hands down, it's Bernie Wrightson. He's just phenomenal. One book I don't mind waiting for is Frankenstein Alive because of his artwork. It is just amazing. I know we have to wait like an entire year for one single issue, But when that one single issue comes out, it is just hands down like my favorite issue of the year, and not because of the story. If I'm writing like a wacky kind of comedy type book, it would be Evan Dorkin. I know he doesn't draw much now, but everything I've read of his has been just fantastic. I love the way he draws as well. He's just great. One right now that I think can do just about anything is Mark Buckingham. I got to know him through Fables, and he is just phenomenal. Just an amazing artist. And with Fables, it goes through so many different worlds and types, and he just is amazing. So I guess overall, it would be Buckingham. Johnny DaCosta asks, what is your favorite comic book issue of all time, and provide me a soundtrack, a playlist, if you will, of 10 songs or less that you would feature in this comic? That is the most difficult question I've ever been asked by anybody about anything. So much so that I can't really answer it. Because A, I can't think of a favorite issue of all time. And B, finding the right music to coincide with that book is nearly an impossible task. So I'm going to take the easy route and take Daredevil, issue 25, sorry, and give you 2 songs. Eye of the Tiger and 5 Minutes Alone by Pantera, just because that song gets me pumped and it's all about fighting. So, sorry, Johnny, I wish I could have done better by you, but that I've been racking my brain since you asked that question, and I could not come up with anything at all. So that's the best I could do. I'm sorry. The Exiles asks, what made you start your other channel, and are you ever going to resurrect that channel? For those of you who don't know, I do have another channel. It is completely music based, and I actually had it before this channel. It's Yesteryear Music, in which I would just play guitar, sing, do covers, do originals, and the support you get doing videos like that on YouTube is very little to none at all, especially compared to the comic community. I did those videos for a real long time, actually. And I had a couple of videos that were received very well, which I appreciated, but most of them, people just find a way to dig at you. And after a while, that gets hard to take, especially when it's an original song that you're really proud of, that people just shit on. And that's one of the things that made me change to doing comic videos. So on that note, there will be no resurrecting of that channel. It is what it is. It's still out there. I'm not going to take it down. I'm not taking those videos down, but I'm not going to be putting any more material on that channel because it never really went anywhere. I mean, the subscribers I had, the number was very, very small. Like I said, the comments were mostly terrible. And it was a hard thing to do. It still is sometimes, especially when I do my music on this channel. I at least have more of an audience that is more accepting of those songs. But just throwing them out there to whoever, it gets kind of difficult. So no resurrecting of that channel, no. Yoakum Comic Center asked, when did you first pick up your guitar playing? I first started in 96. I was in 8th grade. Um, had my mom's old acoustic until I broke that, and then I got a green Ibanez electric that I ended up taking lessons on, and my teacher never actually taught me anything. He was basically like, "What songs do you like? Well, here's how you play them," and that's it. So I don't know how to read music. I know chords, but by doing it myself, teaching myself, and yeah, I've been like my skill level does not does not match most people who have been playing for like 20 years. So, um, whatever. He also asks, "Do you play anything else other than guitar?" No, I don't. I used to play drums here and there, um, but I don't have my own kit. I used to play with friends when we had a band together, and that just ended up going nowhere. Um, and now, yeah, like I said, I don't have any other instruments. I thought about playing bass once or twice, but um, that just that wasn't gonna work out. Water break. Okay. Mercy's Little Show asked, "What is your favorite breakfast cereal?" Breakfast cereal. Um, it's like old man cereal. I like Life. That Life cereal. If I don't have Life cereal, it's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Um, what else do I eat? Honey Nut Cheerio sometimes. Uh, I don't know. That's it. What is a character, DC or Marvel, that hasn't had a series for a while that you think should get one? Now, my normal answer is Spectre, because he never has a series, but he just had, if you want to count it, Gotham by Midnight that did not go over very well and is canceled now. Um, Another one that I'm a huge fan of that had a series not too long ago is Etrigan the Demon. Um, yeah, what was the last one? Demon Knights, was that the last one? Or Blood of the Demon? Or, I don't know. I know we had one not too long ago. And then the other one that I usually like to go with is Constantine. But he had two series recently, one that's still going on, which is Constantine the Hellblazer, and I absolutely love it. Before that, he had the New 52 Constantine, which wasn't that great, tied in too much to all the other shit that was going on. So, yeah, I guess the Demon, Etrigan. All right, next she asks, what are the best parts and what are the worst parts about being on YouTube? I kind of covered the worst parts when I was talking about my other channel. The best parts, though, the very best parts are the friendships that I have made doing this. I have made, seriously, the best friends doing this channel. I've had the extremely amazing opportunity to meet them and have them stay in my house and go stay at one of theirs. And of course, I'm talking about when we do Motor City Comic Con. The first year I did it, I met up with Nate, and that's awesome. He lives like maybe half an hour away from me, so it's cool to be able to, talk to him and go see him. The second year we did it, we had CJ, Nate, and Johnny, the three of them staying at my house for the weekend was amazing. Something I'll never forget. And then this last year, we added Matt and Greco to the mix, and that was just so much fun. Meeting those guys and hanging out with those guys has been the absolute best thing about YouTube. The only other thing that would be more amazing is if I could get everyone over here to come hang out. It'd just be awesome. All the friends that I've made, it is what keeps me doing these videos. That's the best part of YouTube, is my friends. So thank you everybody for that. The next question she asked is, my husband was born in Owasso, Michigan. Have you ever been there? I don't know. I know that it's just west of me. I think maybe about an hour. So I think I might have at least driven through there. I remember the name of the town. So I feel like when I read it in your question, I was like, oh yeah, I've been there. And I got to thinking about it. I was like, I don't know, have I been there? But I feel like I have. So I think so, but I couldn't tell you if it was nice. But I imagine it was. When I looked it up, because I looked it up, it looked like more of a small town, so I don't know what I would have gone there for. I might have just driven through it. That is a distinct possibility. But it didn't stick in my mind like a terrible place to go visit. So it's not Flint or, bad parts of Detroit. But I think I've driven through it at least. So there. Jared Osborne got on one of my videos that I asked. This is the other medium in which he asked questions. On one of the videos, he asked, what is your favorite ad in a comic? Sea monkeys, toy soldiers, real life, submarine, X-ray specs, whatever. And X-ray specs is where it's at. Like, I'd wanted those for so long. I actually saw those in the old Archie Double Digest that I got when I was a kid. And I wanted those so bad. Later on, I found out it was just cardboard glasses with dots in the middle cut out. But I wanted those really, really badly. He also asked, why do you wear a hat with a brim if you're not going to shade your eyes with it? Here we go. The only reason I wear my hat like this is because when I do videos, if I turn around the way I always wear it, you don't see my face as well. See, it's the lighting. The lighting shines down, hits the brim, covers my eyes, covers parts of my nose, and it messes with the camera, as you can see. So when you see me out on the street, I am always like this. Always. Only when I do my videos down in my basement am I like this. This is not the normal Scott. This is video Scott. When I turn the hat backwards, I turn into a machine. Sorry, over the top reference. It's bad. Anyway, Hippies Collectibles asks, how long have you been playing guitar and what made you pick it up? Been playing it for almost 20 years. I'm terrible on it as far as being able to play it for 20 years. What made me pick it up, though, was punk rock music. Way back, when I listened to my dad's music mostly, guitar work was extremely intricate and complicated and a million notes a second. I knew that I would never be able to play anything like that. I don't have the coordination in my fingers. It just doesn't come to me like that. And I thought I'd never, why bother picking it up? I'd never be able to play like that. And then, then I started listening to punk rock. And punk rock is 3 chords, every single song, over and over. That's it. I started listening to, I want to say Bad Religion was the first punk rock band I ever listened to. Back in 6th or 7th grade. I picked up the album Suffer because of the cover. I don't have it with me, so I can't show you. But it's this kid on fire standing in the suburbs in a neighborhood with a Bad Religion shirt on. So it's a cross X'd out, zero in the circle with a red line. And having been brought up Catholic and in Catholic school, and the age I was completely against all that. So, anyway, I'm going way back and off topic. Picked that album up at a Harmony House way back, along with a local band called the Suicide Machines. And what was the other album I picked up? That album was Destruction by Definition, which is a flawless album. I love that album so much. It's probably like my favorite album of all time. And the third one was The Descendants. Milo Goes to College. I picked those 3 albums up just because of their covers. Started listening to them. Heard 1.5 minute songs. Played at 1,000,000 miles an hour. 3 chords. That's it. Plug in your guitar and go. I heard those and I was like, fuck, I could do that. I can do that. So I begged my mom and dad for a guitar. Separately because they were divorced at the time. Well, they're still divorced. That was when they were divorced. Begged my mom and dad for a guitar. Dad didn't have the cash for it at the time. Mom had an acoustic that she wanted to pawn off, really. She's like, if you learn how to play on this, then we'll talk about getting an electric guitar. So picked up a book of chords, learned how to play a few chords. Didn't sound right. I accidentally broke the acoustic guitar and bought an electric guitar with some money I made over the summer and started taking lessons. And that's what made me pick it up, punk rock. Wow, that was a really long story for that question. Sorry. Mob Medina asked, what is the most complex or plain hard to figure out comic you've ever read? One I can tell you right now that when I read it in trade, and I still didn't really get it very well, was Casanova. Now you'll see in another video, possibly before this one, I'm doing a haul video that I just picked up some books today, and it was a big chunk of Casanova, so I'm going to try and go through and reread those. But damn, that was a hard to figure out story. Matt Fraction knows how to F with your mind. So that when I first read this question, that's the first thing that popped in my head was that book, because it's all about time traveling, dimension traveling, and I just got lost after like the first 4 pages. So I'm gonna go back and try to reread it and see if I can't figure it out. But that's the one. And he said, if you could pick any character in comics that doesn't have a monthly book or miniseries to have their own title book come out, which character would it be and why? I just finished reading Fables. The whole thing. I just finished volume 22 yesterday. I want so many of those characters to have their own books. But if I had to pick one, I would probably want a Boy Blue book. Just because he is one of the best characters in that series. And he doesn't have his own book. And I think he should. Also, I'd love to see a Bigby Wolf one. But I think there's another book dealing with him right now. I'm not sure. I have to look into it. But he's by far my favorite character in that story. So I mean, we can go on with all the characters from that series. There's just so many really good ones that I'd love to see. But Boy Blue would probably be my favorite. Cranes Comics asks, what do you do for work? I'm actually a receiving dock supervisor at a Sam's Club. So what that means is I have a Monday through Friday job, 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. I unload semi-trucks, like full semi-trucks worth of merchandise using a forklift, drive the forklift, key it in the computer system, leave for the day, and come back the next day. That's basically what I do. Nothing fabulous, just pays the bills. Next he asks, what's my favorite fast food place? Oh, man. That's a tough question because it depends on what mood I'm in. And it also depends on what they have going on at that time. Like Taco Bell loves to give me like certain things that I just enjoy the hell out of and want all the time, and then they take them away. Same with Arby's. Arby's has done that too. But if I had to go with a favorite all-time standalone, like I can like eat that, like go-to kind of restaurant, I guess it would be Burger King. Their double stackers are awesome. I can eat those all day long. I'm also a really big fan of Popeyes. Their chicken is just tremendous. But they too have like special things that they put on the menu, then take off the menu, that I don't get to eat very much of. So, but Popeyes, hot and spicy chicken tenders, so good. And their fries are amazing too. Oh, love that place. Now I want some Popeyes. But the closest one is kind of far away now. But yeah, Popeyes and Burger King. And then he asked, best advice for a YouTuber like myself to get subs. That's a kind of a tough question to narrow down an answer. Like I could do a whole video on what I think I did to get more subs. It has never really been my intention to do videos to get subs. It just happens when you do videos. Now, as far as growing subs, there's a few things that I can pinpoint out that made my subs list grow. One thing would be contests. It seemed like every milestone that I hit, that I held a contest, I ended up getting a ton of subs by just having the contest. One time in particular, I did my 100 subs contest. Quite literally, 3 weeks after I held that contest, my subs went above 200. So I didn't have the stuff to hold the 200 subs contest. So I just rattled off the names of all my subs. But after that, every milestone I hit, I've held a contest, and the subs grow by doing those videos. And I don't do those videos to get subs. I do those videos to appreciate the people who have subscribed to me. I don't do it just to grow my sub number. One thing that started out in the very beginning was something I couldn't control at all, was getting shout outs from big name people in the community. One that really blew me away that I didn't even know he watched my videos was Scott Costin Bromstar. One day he just threw my name out there in a video, gave me a ridiculous amount of praise for something I didn't think I was doing anything special. But him throwing my name out there like that bumped my subs up. And then Johnny DaCosta, he gave me shout outs. 604 Comics gave me shout outs. Captain Cummings gave me shout outs. Dr. Muggeybot had me on, we did that live show, and that was awesome. One thing I could say that I think was my doing that built my subs up was being consistent and putting on material. I do my Monday trade reviews. I would do my Wednesday haul videos, and I do my Friday review videos. Um, and then Sunday brunch I did. So I was doing videos like 4 a week. And then I would always comment back on comments in my videos because it's just a nice thing to do to be able to interact with people. Again, not doing it just for the subs, but that's why I got on YouTube was to interact with everybody. So those small things that I wanted to do anyway, I think built up my subscriber list just by doing what I wanted to in the first place. Now there's definitely things that can drop subs. Music videos. Those will drop subs real quick. But again, I don't do this for subs. I do this for the interaction and to make friends by being who I am and doing what I want to do. That's why I do this. So, I don't know if that helped you and answered your question or not, but that's the best I can. That's the best I can do. All right, and next, Yoakum asked me another question. He asked, "Any New Year's resolutions for next year?" I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I mean, I always try my best to be a better person, but making that a New Year's resolution I mean, you're just destined to fail. Just making a New Year's resolution. As far as comic books go, though, New Year's resolutions as far as that, I want to complete my Commandy run. There's a lot of runs that I want to complete. I want to be able to just finish those off and, that'd be nice. that'd be nice to do in the new year. I don't know, what else would I want to just keep doing what I do, I guess. Like, I don't want to change anything. I just want to do what I do. That's enough for me. I like me enough, but yeah, no real New Year's resolutions. Not really. J Rocks asked me, favorite Lord of the Rings movie? I don't know, I guess Two Towers. I always like the middle movies, because you get answers for the questions that happened in the first movie, and then you get build up for the next one. But there's all story there. It's not like it doesn't take forever to get started because you're introducing all these new characters. It doesn't take forever to end because there's so much to go over. All the fringe characters and stuff. So I like just the action right in the middle. So we'll go with Two Towers. That's probably my favorite one. Are you Team Nike, Jordans, Adidas, or other? I have always been a Vans shoes kind of guy. I've not been wearing them lately. I think lately I have like a pair of Fila's, I think. But Vans were always my shoes. They're flat, good for skating. There was a style I liked. That's just what I did. Now I need something that's has more arc in it, more flexible, so I can walk around and be comfortable. But I still have a pair of Old Schools in the the storage room. And I'm always on the lookout for more Vans. Actually, I have a huge banner of Vans shoes that I got when I used to work there. I used to work at Vans. And that was those are my shoes. I love Vans. What makes more money at the box office next year, Deadpool or Batman vs. Superman? I think just because of the characters, Batman vs. Superman is going to make more money. I, however, will probably appreciate Deadpool a little bit more. Um, but I'm gonna go see both of them. I have a date, not a date, but um, a friend of mine, Rob, and I have said that when those two movies come out, we're gonna go see them together. We're probably gonna get both families together to go see Batman vs Superman because it'll be more kid friendly, of course, because Deadpool is not going to be at all. And Deadpool will probably just be me and him going to see that because I don't think our wives are even interested in it. So, to answer the question, I think Batman vs Superman is going to end up making more, but I don't think it'll deserve it. I think Deadpool will be a better movie. And then, yes, what's your favorite music artist and genre? Music artist, I can give you Foo Fighters. I am a huge Foo Fighters fan. Every album they put out is just fantastic, and they keep getting better. And not to mention just their personalities off stage, off screen. You know, just cool guys. I'll forever be a Foo Fighters fanboy. Dave Grohl is just an amazing person. As far as genre goes, though, I can't give you a favorite genre. I'm very eclectic in my musical taste. The only thing that I don't like, that I don't even consider music, is techno. I freaking hate techno. I hate any genre of techno. I hate any offshoot of techno. I just can't get into it. There's no heart. There's no soul. It's just noise, and it's terrible. But as far as genres go, everything else is fair game. I listen to country. I listen to rap. I listen to classic rock. I listen to punk rock. I listen to blues. I listen to soul. I'll listen to anything except techno. I can't stand that shit. Scale of 1 to 10, how hot is Taylor Swift? I actually don't find her hot at all. I'd give her a 0. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. I don't find her attractive in the least. She needs to eat about 1 million Twinkies and put on some weight because she looks like a freaking scarecrow. I don't really like her face at all. This has turned into a Taylor Swift bashing. I don't. She wouldn't be on my list. I'll tell you that. Just not my type. Brian Infrared Media asks, "Have you ever had a paranormal type experience?" I like to say yes. My wife seems to think I'm talking shit when I say it. But we went and took a trip to Savannah, Georgia, which is supposedly supposed to be one of the most haunted cities in America. And we went on... They have a bunch of these, like, ghost story tours there. And that was one of the reasons we wanted to go. The other is... That's where they filmed Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and that movie is just fantastic. So we went there for that. But the first night we were there, we went on this creepy crawl, is what it was. And what you do is basically follow this guy and go on a bar crawl. Now, Savannah is also one of the few cities in America where they have open container laws, where you can take a to-go cup from a bar and walk down the streets, and that's perfectly fine. You don't get arrested or anything for it. So we went on this bar crawl, stop at a bar, get something to drink. He tells you a story about the history of the bar and like a ghost story of what happened in the bar. Get a to-go cup, walk to the next bar, same thing. And we ended up going to like 6 different bars. On the second to last one, we went to this bar. I don't even remember the name. But down in the basement, they had these wooden posts holding up the building. these wooden posts were there from back in like slavery days. So you'd see where on the bottom where the chains were, like dug out in the posts, and down in this basement, a bunch of slaves died, women, children, men, everybody died down there. And he got done telling the story, he said, go ahead, go walk around, whatever. So I went from the main room where we were, and I started just walking around on my own. And there was this kind of archway into another room where they had like a pool table set up. And as I walked from the main room through the archway into the next room, I got this chill running down my entire person. Like I felt like something went through me. Also, I thought I saw, I say I thought I saw because it was out the corner of my eye, a figure walk back around the corner. So in this room, I walk in this room, the pool table's in front of me, and off to the sides there's like doorways against the wall cuts in like that. So I thought I saw a figure like just go around the corner. I claim it, I saw and felt it. My wife says I'm full of shit. Which she might very well be true. I could have just walked under a vent with the AC running and I got a chill and could have just been play on shadows. But that's what I saw. And that's my experience, I guess. Next, Dr. Monkeybot asks, are there any long runs you haven't started yet but would like to one day? Long runs are so intimidating. Like, that's the problem. They're so intimidating. I just started seriously getting into Batman back issues. So that I've started. I have a few Uncanny X-Men issues, so that is also something I've started. I talked about Cerebus already, so I don't want to use that as an answer. That's hard. Amazing Spider-Man I already started. Fantastic Four I already started. I don't go after them real hard, but I have some. I've started Punisher Warzone, but I don't have any of the main title Punisher stuff. I don't know, man. Maybe Justice League? That'd be kind of a fun one to go after. And I don't really... I have like one issue of Justice League of America. Because I like the cover. But I could say that. I guess Justice League is something that I wouldn't mind starting eventually. It's just so daunting. Those big runs. Those huge titles are just such a daunting task to try and collect them all. It's just difficult. So we'll go with Justice League. How about that? What's your favorite novel? My favorite novel... I'm a big fan of autobiographies and biographies. So I don't know if you want to count that as novel. But my favorite one is Things the Grandchildren Should Know by Mark Oliver Everett. It is an autobiography by the singer-songwriter of the Eels, the band. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into his family life, which is tragic, to say the least. I've read this book 5 times from cover to cover, but in single sittings at a time. It's not super thin. It's not really thick, but I can't put it down when I crack it open. If you want to go as far as like regular novel like fiction, it would be High Fidelity. I love Nick Hornby. His writing is just fantastic. If you haven't read this, you should. If you don't feel like reading it, go watch the movie High Fidelity. John Cusack stars in it, Jack Black, and it's just another fantastically tragic story. But in the end, it ends up being good. Kind of a happy ending, I guess. But those would be my favorite novels. If you owned a comic shop, what would you call it? We talked a lot on Twitter, Johnny, you and I, about naming our comic shops. I couldn't come up with anything interesting, but I always thought my channel name would be something that you could apply to a comic shop. So running with comics. I just thought that's what I always thought when I named my channel. I thought it would be a cool comic shop name as well. So that's self-absorbed answer. And then, how do you keep your beard so neat? I trim it once a week with a beard trimmer, and then when I shave, I have one of those razors that you flip over and it has the single blade for trimming the lines. It's actually kind of unruly right now. It's starting to... You can see little hairs poking out right there. I need to trim it. But yeah, I don't do anything special. I just shave and trim. I used to have the full beard going on. And if I can find a picture, I'll post it here. But the wife didn't like the full-on beard. She didn't like kissing me because the mustache part pricked her. So because I like to keep it cut, I don't do like full-on, like I can't get a full-on beard. I'd love to have one like Comic Crack when he did that the Yeared. I'd love to do that, but I just can't. I can't do it because I hit a point where, like I just showed you, the few that are just kind of sticking out, that bugs the hell out of me, so I have to trim it. But yeah, that's all I do. Mr. Talk Apple asks, what's your favorite non-superhero standalone graphic novel? I have 3 that I want to show you. First up, Punk Rock Jesus. Oh my God, Sean Murphy. Just amazing writing. It really hit home with me growing up Catholic, but being completely against, not completely against it, I don't want to say I'm completely against it, but being on the other side of the belief, I guess. Just phenomenal art and writing. The first time I read it, it just hit me, and I loved it. Next, Day Tripper. God, Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba. Just amazing. I read the first issue and was so dumbfounded as how it ended. I was like, huh? But you keep reading and then it just hits you over and over and over again. And you just keep getting these gut punches of brilliance and emotion. So, Day Tripper. But I think probably the one that does it for me the most, Underwater Welder. Jeff Lemire killed me with this one. As you can see here, I have a sketch. This book, if you want to know about this book, go watch What Makes Greco Cry, Underwater Welder. It's the first What Makes Greco Cry, and that's what it did to me too. It's just, oh God, brutally amazing. Okay, and last but not least, Clouded Journey asked, what was the most surprisingly awesome comic/graphic novel you read all year? I can't give you a single issue. I probably could. I'd probably go with like Afterlife with Archie was surprisingly awesome. But the most surprisingly awesome thing that I read this year was Fables. I show you volume 1 here, but I read the entire main Fables series this year, from volume 1 through to volume 22. I picked this up. Like the reason it's surprising is because I don't recall hearing very many people talk about it on a regular basis. Here and there, I heard people say that it was good. So I didn't really have high hopes. I got this at Second and Charles the Monday after Motor City Comic Con. CJ and I went there. Everybody else had left, and CJ and I went to Second and Charles. I saw this there for, I want to say I picked this up for like $6. Cover price is 10, but it was insanely inexpensive. It was volume 1, so I decided to pick it up. And I let it sit on my shelf for a while because my wife had borrowed the first hardcover from a friend of hers. And I thought she said she didn't like it. Now, of course, my tastes are completely different from my wife's. But when I asked her about it, because I picked this up, I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. It's not the hardcover that's like $30. It's just the trade paperback. And I asked her, what didn't you like about this? And she's like, oh, I never read it. I just told him I didn't like it, so I didn't have to borrow the rest. So I went, and that was like 2 years ago. And so I said to her, I was like, I went all this time thinking you didn't like it. Like there was something wrong with it. And she's like, no, I just never got around to reading it, and I wanted to give it back to him, so I just told him I didn't like it. I said, oh, okay. So I want to say it was probably June that I ended up picking this up and reading it. And I got instantly sucked into the universe of Fables. Because it takes all these characters from childhood stories and just twists them into something completely different. And I was just in awe. Like I read this and I was just like, how have I not read this before? And this first volume was really amazing. Like it did the trick. Like it just got me. So from there I went back to Second and Charles and picked up all the volumes they had. I think they had like they had this one through like 4, I want to say. I picked those up and just read them, knocked them out. I went to my local comic shop and just started buying one every week and reading through it and building up. Like I ended up having like 12 volumes, but had only read through like 5 of them. So I just kept reading them. And it took a while for me to get volume 20. I had it on order at my shop for like probably a month, and it just didn't come in. But I ended up getting that, I think, the week before Christmas. And then my mom for Christmas bought me volume 21 and 22. Both of those I read yesterday. Like quite literally finished them up the first of the year. And it was just an amazing story. There's a bunch of spin-offs though, so I'm not completely done with the universe as a whole. There's the Jack of Trades books that came out. I think I have 2 of them. I want to say there's like, I want to say there's 8, but I think there's more than that. And of course, I have the first volume, so it's not going to say it in the back. I want to say there's 8 or maybe 11. And then there's a couple other shoot-offs that I have already. And then, like I said earlier, I think there's a new title or maybe a new miniseries that was coming out about Bigby Wolf. I'm not 100% sure, though. I got to look into that more. But I will, now that I've finished off the main title. I'll start knocking out those offshoot series. Because it's just, oh my god, dude, the characters are just so... I mean, like I said, they're characters you all know, but then they just put this little twist on them, and you get sucked in to... You just get sucked into the universe. It's just awesome. It's a fantastic, fantastic series, and like a surprisingly awesome, because I thought my wife hated it. But that's the last question, and this video has gone on for a really long time already. So on that note, thank you guys for being with me for another year. 2016 is gonna be more of the same. For right now, I don't have any big plans for anything. I know that we're not getting together for Motor City Comic Con this year, but we had talked about doing a Niagara Falls Comic Con, going up to see Johnny. I don't know if that's gonna happen. So it'll be a little different this year as far as big events going on, but you'll see more of the same from me. I'll start putting out those Trading with RWC videos again, which, half of you watch. I'll do more music videos again, which even less than half of you watch. And I'll keep trying to do Wednesday haul videos. Like I said, my pull list has gotten really, really low. But I keep trying to make it a point to go to like Second and Charles and other comic shops to find some back issue stuff to keep you guys interested, and stuff that I can show off and talk about. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for being here for my 3-year anniversary video. Love you guys. Thanks for participating. And